Hello and welcome to the Final Fight podcast. It's only Rich and Joe today. James is currently busy doing other things, but
Yeah,
I'm sure we don't need him. Not this week, anyway.
not this week, mate. Not this week.
Right, should we get cracking?
Yeah, can do, mate. What do you think about today?
Let's just move on.
I know
No,
we
obviously Nostrum was the one. Very impressive.
very money come late as well, didn't it? So that was sort of telling. And then Ryan Moore dropping the whip. You don't normally see that, do you? Ryan getting boxed in and dropping the whip. Not a great day for him.
No,
Did he get a winner? Oh, apart from Nostrum?
I'm not
Was it
100% sure. I don't think so.
No, I don't think he did. And then obviously Buick got one, didn't he? But the ADR was a bit of a retirement job now, eh?
Yeah, I mean he's a bit of a legend, but I think it's time.
Yeah, I think so as well. Should we crack on?
Yeah, so first race is, let me just see if I got this right. Yeah, Newmarket, 2:25 on the Friday tomorrow. Do you want to start things off, Joe?
Yeah, mate. I don't think James can. So I'm sticking with their favourite here. I know we just said there about Buick and Appleby, the combo. I know you're a big fan, obviously repping the cap. But no, I think Star of Mystery, obviously a course and distance winner. You've seen it before at Newmarket. A lot of horses can get, unbalanced and stuff, and he's done it before. He won very well under Hands and Heels, and to be fair, he clocked quite a good time, 1 minute 10 seconds. And like I say, I think they'll take all the beating, and I think the price is it all. Really, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean it's only a 4-horse race now, and the favourite's 2-7 on here that I'm looking at. So if you look at the betting, it's a 1-horse race, and I would happen to agree with yourself. And Star of Mystery is the one to be on here. But at 2-7 on, I don't think anybody will be backing her.
No, neither. It's tough to get. I mean, you can't even get a place either, can you? And I think was it Soprano was meant to be in there with Ryan Moore on board.
Yeah.
But no, like I say, there's not much in there now. Really, I think it's just probably a leave race, watch it, and see what happens. And,
I mean, it should be a steering job. I mean, she's won the last 2 races by combined 15 lengths. A 4-length winner last time out at listed level. So
yeah, she's done it well.
She should be too good for all these.
Yeah,
short and sweet on that one. Right, let's move to the next race. Newmarket, 3:35. The Falmouth, the Group 1, the main race on the Friday. We've got Via Sistina, 13-8 favourite. Nashwa, 4-1. Remarquee, 9-2. Cop Ice, 9-1. And 10 bar. Who do you fancy for this one, Joe?
Do you know what, mate? I really, really like Via Sistina. Obviously, we all tipped her up on the page, but I'm sticking with Nashwa, and I know she should have won at Newcastle. Whether it's a cliff horse for me or I do think she'll win, I don't know. But for me, last time at Newcastle, 1 mile 2 just looked to stretch. I mean, I think at the 1 furlong marker, she looked like winning. I mean, 2 furlong markers, she looked like winning. Even 1 furlong marker, I thought she can't be getting caught, and then drifted and lugged, and Holly didn't look too strong in the finish, I didn't think either. But nevertheless, I think the best horse won. But the step back to 1 mile, I think looks like it'll help. Got a nice drought with stall 4 as well, so should be able to, get a nice sit. So obviously supplemented for the race as well, because I think was it Innsbruck was meant to run here?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Innsbruck was meant to run. The only worry I have about Via Sistina is the ground at the minute. Now I know there's meant to be rain, but it's still good to firm. And I looked through like a profile, and every time it's been good to firm, she's been a non-runner. So personally, I think they'll only run it if she'll win or if they're confident on her. But like I say, I think Nashua will love the firm ground as it is now anyway. What are you thinking? Are you sticking with Via Sistina?
Yeah, for me it's Via Sistina. She beat Alherson by 6 lengths last time out, who's gone on to beat Nashwa at Newcastle. I know they're going to walk the track tomorrow to see what sort of, whether it's good or good to firm. But like you say, I think there's rain forecast. They've had some today, I'm not sure how much. But, I mean, I think it was still good ground at Ireland, and I think anything similar, I think they might chance it. I know they said they probably won't, but it's the Falmouth, it's a Group 1. It looks good on her record if she goes and wins this. If you look down the field, she's only really got to beat Nashwa, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Remarquee 15th in the Guinness. That was on soft, so potentially the faster ground will suit.
The one thing was put me off Remarquee, although I do quite like her. It's the Newmarket form. Ran at Newmarket once, finished 15th. Does she handle the track?
I don't think she's a miler as well. I mean, she dropped down to
No.
7 and was second behind Tahira at Ascot. I think she's
Yeah.
more of a 7 furlong horse. I don't think the mile will suit.
No. Definitely not.
Again, I like Cop Ice at 9-1, but again, won a handicap at Ascot. Was a case of a group horse in a handicap, I think. But whether or not straight into a Group 1 is the right thing to do, I can't see it winning. To be fair,
Yeah.
I just think Via Sistina wins, even if it is good, slightly good to firm. I just don't see why they would not chance it just to see if they can get another Group 1 under a belt.
No, definitely. I said to you, didn't I, earlier on in the week, you would just want to wait for that non-running or bet and then put your bet on because obviously it's like I said. Personally, my view on it is if they think Via Sistina won't win or the ground will harm her, they're not going to run. And if they think she'll win, I think they'll just obviously go there. So, like you said, she's definitely got the form and the class. I think Nash was unexposed at a mile anyway, so we'll see about that one. Are we on to York next? The Summer Stakes?
Yeah, the next one second. I'll get the banner. York 240, Summer Stakes. You're right.
Yeah. The Group 3. What's the betting on this one, Rich? Have you got it there or not?
Yeah, so on mine, I've got Swing Along favourite at 15-8, Royal Acclaim 11-2, Mama's Girl 6-1, Gale Force, Maya 7s, and 10s bar the rest.
What are you liking in this one then, Rich?
I've kind of noted two. So the first one I've got is Mama's Girl.
Yes.
So she's been tried in Group 1 races twice, and she's probably not up to that level. Texas dropped back to Group 3 here. I think she's got a good chance. She's a winner on Good to Soft. She's won at Newmarket. I think she's a good each way price at 6s, 3 places. I think that's a good shout. The one I do like is the favourite, Swing Along.
Yeah.
They've got the £3 swing on Mama's Girl. There's a £6 swing on Royal Acclaim. So I think that's what could tip it here, if I'm honest with you. It was a good third in the Commonwealth Cup in a Group 1. Won the Lowther Group 2 stakes last season over 6.
Yeah.
I mean, she beat Maud, who's then gone on to win the Guineas. So I think that's good form. I think potentially Matt play the forecast, Swing Along by Mama's Girl second. But yeah, Swing Along for me, but I think Mama's Girl's got a good each way chance. What about yourself?
Yeah, definitely, mate. I think that have their connections got 2 horses in this race. Both
I'll just double check.
Swing Along. I'm sure they do, and that's normally a pretty telling sign. But I quite like Mama's Girl here. Like you say, she was tried in Group 1s, 11th in the 1,000 Guineas, which wasn't horrendous. It wasn't brilliant though, and then finished last right out the back in the Coronation Stakes. But she drops back to 6 furlong, which does look a positive. She's won a Group 3 over 7 furlong, and it was the last time Sean Levy was on board, and it was the last win also. He had Kevin Stott on. Obviously, he's not riding for them anymore. Sean Levy jumps back on. He's going to York for 2 rides. I think she'll love the ground, and she, like I say, she's getting this. She won a Group 3 over 7. She's not short of pace, and be definitely staying on to the line. Because I think York's quite stiff. You need a horse staying on because not a lot of horses win from the front at York really, unless the long staying races where they slip the field. There's not many that win from the front. So, like I say, I do like Mama's Girl at the each way price, but if I was feeling a bit, exotic, I would play the first and second of Swing Along and Mama's Girl.
Yeah, connections have got Royal Acclaim in this as well, I think. So
Yeah, I thought they had 2 in there. It's normally like you telling sign, especially when they have 2 in a Group 3 and they're not a massive sort of group really. So yeah, like I say, I like Mama's Girl. Don't get me wrong, Swing Along does have the form. Be interesting to see. Obviously, a Group 1 horse over a mile dropping down to 6 furlong in a Group 3. It's tough to really gauge, isn't it? Could be anything really.
yeah, exactly. It's not straight straight cut. I don't think this race, but they're the two I think will be in the picture come the finish line.
Yeah, definitely, mate, definitely. So what does that lead us on to next?
So next banner I've got is anything else for the Friday. York,
Oh,
Newmarket, Ascot, and Chester.
have you got anything, Rich? You love this one, don't you?
I do love this one. I've actually only got two for the Friday,
Fair enough.
so I'll make it short and sweet. 1 second. First one I've got is at Chester. Chester, where is it? The 6:55. Lady Wolfram. It's one I've mentioned before on the podcast. I think I've tipped you up last time when it came third. This horse has been crying out for a step up in trip. Ran over 5 furlong and 6 furlongs recently. Finished third over 6 last time out at Carlisle. Steps up to 7, which I think is going to suit. I think it was a good, impressive visual run last time. I mean, she finished third, but I thought the 7 furlong is definitely what she needs. And I think she's 3-1 at the minute. So it's not really an each way shout, but I'm going to have a small play on her. The next one I've got is at Newmarket, 4:10. 1 second. Warm Spell for Roger Varian. Goes against a Godolphin first time outer, so I would be worried if the money came for that one. But it was second on debut to an experienced rival, who's then finished 5th at Royal Ascot in the Norfolk. So I think potentially that could be good form. There's not a lot of experience looking down the race, so I think it could be between that and the Godolphin horse, depending on, like I say, if the money comes. But they're the two that I potentially like as well for Friday.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. To be fair, I've just got the one here, and I do quite really like it. Ascot 4:35, Lion Kingdom. Well, look, young reappearance at Newmarket. When got in a bit of trouble, got short of room, but the form's been boosted with the second, and Lion Kingdom finished 4th, but like you say, short of room. Didn't get the run, was only 2 lengths behind the second, who beat Intricacy next time out, who is the favourite. And if you remember, I tipped Intricacy last time out when coming second. Looked like it was travelling like a good thing and didn't really get the trip. And it's a step up in trip from 1 mile to 1 mile 2 after the reappearance. So I think they've always sort of had it in mind, really. Give her one run over 1 mile, take her over 1 mile 2, and out of roaring line as well. So got the breeding, got the form in here tied in with Intricacy, who's been beaten by one of the horses who was in the race. So I think they sort of know what they're up against here. I think you can get about 4-1. So it's a decentish price. You could probably play a mug each way, but I'll probably have a small win. And then I'll be looking forward to Saturday.
Yep, so moving on to Saturday, we've got the Superlative Stakes at Newmarket, a Group 2, over 7 furlongs. I'll just get the market up. You've got City of Troy favourite, 11-8, Great Truth, 11-4, Hartem 8, and 10-1 bar the rest. So potentially it's a 2-horse race looking at the markets. Who do you fancy in this?
I think it's a 1-horse race. I think you're on the same, City of Troy. Very impressive on debut. But I was more impressed with Ryan and Aidan, really. I mean, you know me, them giving compliments out, but they were very complimentary on the horse. And I was watching an interview from Aidan, and Ryan said to him, in quotations, because I've written it down straight after, you could take this one anywhere. And it was published all over, wasn't it? It was the only 2-year-old Ryan thought he couldn't pull up. I think we'll love the stiff finish. Got a very, very long stride, so I can see him having no problem with a trip. Nice draw to stall too. Won't have any problems. I can see him getting a bit of cover, going for home early. And like I say, he was clocked a good time. He got quicker throughout, and his last furlong was his quickest. So he was strong through the line. I really like this one. Are you with me?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, for me, there's not a lot to go on, like you say.
No.
City of Troy, very impressive last time out when winning. But it's hard to judge the form because nothing's really come out and ran since. But you kind of take it on Ryan and Aidan's word that they couldn't pull him up. He still had loads left in the bonnet. Potential superstar sort of quotes. The Godolphin Great Truth, again, blew his rivals away last time out over the 7 at Leicester, winning by 5.5 lengths. But similar case. You can't really judge the form because nothing's really come out and won.
No.
You've
Yeah.
got Hartem, the third favourite, who was fifth behind River Tiber. So potentially Aidan could have some sort of gauge onto where City of Troy is into that sort of horse. But yeah, if you look at if you're going off the quotes and what people are saying, City of Troy should be the next superstar for Aidan O'Brien. So if he is, he should be winning this. So he's the one I would be picking.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Like you say, he's sort of brought him out late, hasn't he? You don't normally see that either. His normally best ones go towards Royal Ascot, like River Tiber and stuff like that. But like you say, they were very complimentary of him. And like I say, like you say, there's not much to go off apart from the vibes of what you got and what they say afterwards. And like I say, he looked strong and stuff. So yeah, that'll be my bet.
Before we move on, Joe, we have a comment, and I hope James is watching. Here we go. Rich for host from now on.
Yes, Jack.
Cheers, Jack. We love you, really, James.
He'll be fizzing with that. We want you back, James.
Yeah, please come back. Right, the next race we've got is the July Cup. 1 second, where's the banner? Yeah, July Cup. Newmarket, 4:35, Group 1 over 6. The betting, you've got Shaquille, favourite, 15-8. Azure Blue, 10 to 3, 100 to 30. Little Big Bear, 4-1. Kinross, 11-2. Cardham, 10s, and 33 bar the rest. So, again, you're probably looking at the top of the field for this. Who do you fancy?
It's tough, mate. Obviously, Shaquille's the classy one, but also looks like the lunatic. I believe Ross Orion's on board, which I don't think it's a positive, but I don't think it's a huge negative. But I quite like Azura Blue. The form's been boosted from York, albeit it was the first time out. But missed Royal Ascot, and I did see on the trainer's notes after the race that they said they were going to target her for certain races and not over race her this year. And in behind her, she had Highfield Princess, who ran well in 2 races at Royal Ascot and arguably got impeded by Brad Tellin, should have won that race. Anaf, who run pretty well at Royal Ascot, I believe finished about 3rd. And then Comanche Falls went over to Ireland and won a listed race. So like I say, she had good horse in behind her. I really like the fact that she's fresh. Paul Mulrennan has got a 25% strike rate in the last 14 days, which is also a positive. And he's out of stall 1, so she'll get plenty of cover, no problem. Hopefully, the gaps open up and she pulls through. However, if Shaquille cannot do something mental and settle and run a race, will be very, very hard to beat. What's your thoughts?
I'm kind of similar lines, you know. Shaquille veered last time out at Ascot and still managed to win by, I think, a length or a length and a half from Little Big Bear.
Yeah.
Again, I think if she does something similar this time, she may not get away with it. I don't think York is as forgiving. I'm with you. I do like Azure Blue. I think watching her at York beating Highfield Princess, who is a very good horse, like you say, probably should have had at least 1 win at Royal Ascot to a name. Again, I think it's a horse that potentially is the superstar in this field. Little Big Bear, I highly doubt is going to run. I'd be very surprised if Aidan does risk him. To be fair, I think they'll probably save him for races later on this evening rather than risk it. One I like at an each way price is Kinross, but I think
Buick on.
Buick is on. Yeah, I think it depends how much rain they get. It's a horse that does like a bit of cut in the ground. If it's good to firm, probably stay away. But they are due some rain, so depending on how much they get, I think Kinross at 11-2. I think he is currently. He's should be getting in the place if he's got a bit of cut in the ground. So yeah, I'm going to go for Azure Blue as well. I think Shaquille, like you say, could be a superstar, but could you trust him?
Yeah, especially just with, I'm not saying Ross Orion's a bad jockey, but obviously Oshin's top quality and nursed back into the race at Royal Ascot. But, if you've got a jockey who was a bit more novice, would they try and push him on and get him there and he gets too keen and in a bit of a flap? I don't know. But like I say, Azure Blue looks straightforward. They've obviously set out targets to hit for the year, and I think this was one of them. And you don't know how much it takes out the horses from being at Royal Ascot. I know it was a sort of a month ago now, but you know it's still a recovery, and the Azura boot being fresh, sorry. Like I can't really get away from it. Yeah.
I'm surprised you've not had a little go on Amaratiana. Is also in this at a big price, 33s.
I do like the horse, but I was not sick. I was starting to get a bit of a Cliff Horse vibe. She ran a good race last season when the Christoph Soumian horse got beat. That was the rage at the time. Over at where have you got the form up there? I'm using my phone. That's all.
I can get it 1 second. Yeah, he's a bit of a horse that always he runs a good race, and then you think, oh, he's back and he's going to bolt up, and he always lets you down.
Disappoints, yeah, and then he runs into a good place, and you think, oh, he might drop in class, and he might, sort of piss in really, or he might, a good each way play, but he always seems to finish fourth or fifth without getting any good sort of, returns on your money type of thing.
July
but
Cup,
yeah,
here we go.
You can still get about 4 to 1 on a Zero Blue, can't you, Rich?
7
to 2, 4 to 1, something like that.
You'd have to double check. I've got 100 to 30 on both my apps.
Oh, right. Yeah, so getting a bit of money because the horse actually opened up at 4 to 1 yesterday when I checked.
Yeah, I mean, Emirati had second at Keeneland and then second in the Sprint Cup at Haydock. So
that was the one. And then what was it after that?
Finished third at York in the Wootton Bassett.
Yeah.
So,
like I say, it seems to run a good race, but not one I'd put my money on anymore. I'd be happy if the horse won or got a place, but no, not one for my money, and not one I'd be tipping up, to be honest.
yeah, I think he's in top two, like you say.
Yeah. However, I believe we are going to York, and I think this horse is an absolute banker.
We've probably got the same horse, I'm honest with you. 1 second. The Silver Cup, York, 3:45, 1 mile 6.
Go on, Rich, tell us your facts.
Hamish for me, and this is the bet of the weekend, but it's now odds on, so maybe not. But I can't see him losing, to be fair. He's a Group 3 winner last time out at Chester over 1 mile 5. The extra furlong's not going to bother him because he won over 1 mile 5 at Chester on soft, heavy ground. Previously, he had second at Group 2 at Newmarket last season over 1 mile 4. He likes a bit of cut on the ground. I think York is good at the minute, but I think there is going to be some rain due.
Yeah,
so I can see him getting conditions here, and I don't see a lot that can beat him. Tashcan's second favourite, 9 to 2. I don't like that horse at all. One evening, script writer, Tinameza Fox. We'll not say that one again because I can't pronounce it. And Get Shirty. I can't see what beats him, to be fair. He's got a £3 penalty, but he is the class act, I think, in this, and he should be winning.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's another one of them, to be honest. I think it's if Hamish wasn't in this, you'd probably say it's one of the worst Group 3s of the season. I've written a stat here. None of the opposition have won a group race, only Hamish. Tom Marquand's riding, which is a positive. Like I say, won a Group 3 on his reappearance. So any improvement, or even I think off the same performance, off a penalty, I think he'd still win here. Will love, I written, and will get, because I was up that way today and it was spitting, and I checked my phone and it is saying rain. So I do think, though, I believe it's 4 to 6 on. I think this horse will be 4 to 9 on the day. I really do. I think it'll be absolutely hammered in. And
he's 8 to 11 here on mine, but I can't see him drifting out to anywhere near even. So,
no,
like I say, I think he's only going to get shorter. So, if you are going to back him at odds on, probably get in now.
Yeah, for me, it may be a horse if he's still around that mark tomorrow. As a bit of a pot booster, doubling with a few horses or something like that, because I can't see a danger in that race at all, to be honest. I've been through the list a few times and no one strikes me, really.
No, I think you're right. Right, the last Group 1 we'll be covering is the Ascot Summer Mile Group 2 at 2:20. Have you
Yep.
got any fancies in this, Joe?
I think it's a bit of a tough race, to be honest, but I do like the Godolphin horse. However, Buick's not on. Might be a positive, might not be. But I do quite like Aldari for Jim Crowley. Not a bad reappearance in the Group 3 after having 13 months off. If you watch the race, he was pretty tenderly handled. Broke slow, outpaced throughout, and then still only beaten 3 lengths in the end. And he seemed to stay on. But he's a course and distance winner. He's out of stall 5, so I think he would get us like quite a nice sit. And if you watch his races, he's been sort of sat well, I'd say a typical Jim Crowley ride. Sat middle of the pack, slightly behind, 2 furlong marker, gets a little shake, 1 furlong marker, produced late and gets up. And I think this race might just set up perfect for him. However, I feel like you might be on the Godolphin horse. Am I right?
To me, I think this is a poor Group 2. I think this is a Group 2
Yeah.
full of Group 3 horses. I
Yeah.
don't think there's any superstar here, personally. I'd probably shade Master of the Seas, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't be a strong fantasy, if I'm honest with you. One at an each way price I do like, that might have a little dabble on, is Regal Reality for stout Kingscote rides. He's 8-1 on here. He's a Group 3 winner at Epsom. I just think he potentially might run well. He's beaten Highland Avenue, who I don't think is an okay sort of horse. But if I just go through it, like Jimi Hendrix won a handicap at Ascot last time out. I don't think he's a Group 2 horse.
No.
Mighty Ulysses again. He got Angel Blue, Regal Reality, New Kingdom. It's a tough one. It's not one I've got a strong opinion on, if I'm honest with you. It's probably a small play.
No, the same. I mean, you look at sort of 2 races in the same day. You go to Newmarket and the Superlative, and you in a Group 2 there. You've got City of Troy, who could be the next superstar, unknown quantity type of thing. And then you go to Ascot in a Group 2, and all the horses have sort of ran in the handicaps. You'd sort of say they're exposed in the handicaps, and then they've been jumped up into group races. I mean, the Godolphin horse does have probably the best Group 4.
Yeah, I think you're right there. So
yeah, go on, mate.
I just think, like you say, probably got the best form. Ran at Maidan in a Group 1 in March behind Lord North, who's a decent horse. I mean, he didn't finish anywhere, to be honest with you, but he's been running in the better races, I think, compared to some of these. And
yeah, definitely.
if there is a winner, he's probably the one. But like you say, it's not one I've strong opinion on. Regal Reality is the one I'd probably play just a small each way, because I don't know what else is going to come out the pack.
No, like you say there, it's not a race where you've got unknown quantities where you think, oh, horse hasn't run much. He's getting brought here, bloody blah, step up and trip. They're all pretty exposed, if you like. But like I said, I do like Eldari. Obviously, clearly had problems, but not a bad reappearance. A 30-month off's a long time. And Jim Crowley's obviously riding as well. So he won't be going to Newmarket. He will be at Ascot, which I think is pretty, a pretty telling sign with Buick staying over at Newmarket. But, we'll see. I think it's a good weekend of racing, but it's not the best in terms of quality group races.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's a few races I've looked through and I'm thinking, like Hamish. I'd say Hamish is a Group 3 horse, but he's a standout in here because a lot of the horses for me are listed level, top handicappers. Same for the sort of the Group 2 Aldari, Godolphin horse, not much stepping up. But for me, the interesting race and the one I am keen on is City of Troy and the Superlative. I keep going back to that, but no, I'm keen on that one.
No, I think you're right. It's a weekend where you've maybe got 1 or 2 really good races, and the rest probably bang average, to be honest with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, have you got anything else for the Saturday?
I've got one at Ascot at 3:30. Real Dream. Stouty horse who Ryan Moo was on at York. Very unlucky on his second start this season. Towards the rear, outpaced again like Eldari, but quickly kept on and was short of room. And he kept on for third, got third in the final strides. On the back of that, he's been stepped up from 1 mile 4 to 1 mile 6. So for me, just want to keep an eye on. He's in a handicap. He's got a pretty high weight. But they've sent him a Ascot here, stepped him up 2 furlongs, which is a pretty decent amount. Like I say, he was short of room. He kept on for third. He looked outpaced. He looked like he needed this step up. So it's probably one that I would look for, and I probably will play. The prices aren't out yet, so I can't really gauge if it's a nice each way bet or if it's just a small win. But it's probably one that you'll see on Telegram if you are watching, because I probably will be tipping that one up.
Yeah, very good. I think you can tell what sort of weekend it is because, again, I've only got 2 or 3 fancies outside the group races. So I'll quickly run through mine. I've got Newmarket 250. We've got Taffridge for Haggis. Currently 5-1 on the market I'm looking at. I think that's a good each way price. Winning last time out. Ran on comfortably inside the final furlong at Yarmouth. I think potentially he's one that could get a sequence going. I think that's quite a good each way sort of bet. Then we move on to Chester, potentially the Holly Doyle double. We've got Lulworth Cove, who's won for us, I think, at a big price on the all-weather. Only came 6th last time out, though. But I think with Hoyle Doyle on board, I think potentially...
She's been on fire recently.
She's doing all right, isn't she? It's one I keep on side. Then you've got the 352 Banderas for Michael Bell. Holly Doyle on again. It's one that I tipped up, I think, this week or last week and was a non-runner. So potentially saved for this. I think the yard fancy this as their like handicapper to follow. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Like I say, there's no price on that one, so I can't really... say it's going to be each way sort of a value, but potential Holly Doyle double there. And I think that is all I have. Apart from we've got Soul System running in France.
In France, that is one and all. But I think it's a strange move, to be honest, taking it to France. Obviously, I know she's won on soft, but the reappearance at York, I know when Frankie come off, he said didn't like the ground at all. Taking her over there. I mean, you look at the race last weekend, Caldine, Meditate, completely flopped. It looked a lot softer than what the description said. I just worry. I think there's a French horse in there, around about 7-2 that I like second favourite. Cannot remember. Feed the Flame, that's the one. I quite like that, to be honest. But did you hear the news about Kieran Schumacher with Godwin?
He's riding Soul Sister, but he's not going to be the next Dettori retained. I think they've come out and said it. I think they said they don't want a retained jockey, don't they? They're just going to pick up who's best.
Yeah, well, I don't think Rob Avlin's the best, so I'm not too sure anyway. But like I said, it's a strange one this weekend. It's not one. It's one you look forward to, the Newmarket Summer Meeting. But I wouldn't say it's one. Where you look through the cards and you're thinking, oh, there's an Augusta Rodin, there's something that can really catch the eye here.
Very true. Yeah, I think it's just a small sort of plays this weekend. Nothing too heavy. Right, we're on to Naps and Next Bests. Who's your next best, Joe?
My next best is Mama's Girl in the 240 at York, 6-1 each way.
Very good. My next best is Via Sistina. I think if she runs, they're obviously fancier, and I think she'll take some beating in that.
Yeah.
And your nap?
I think we're both on the same page here. Hamish at York.
Yeah, I just can't see him beat. I mean, he's no sort of price, but he's only going to get shorter, I think. So I don't think he loses.
Definitely. Like I say, I cannot see this horse getting beat at all. Like I say, it's a good weekend of racing. Don't get me wrong. There's Group 3s, there's Group 2s, there's a few Group 1s, but I don't think it's littered with talent here. And I'd probably look towards the handicaps more. See horses to put in the tracker instead of having big bets and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right there. Right, final words. You got anything to finish us on, Joe?
No, not really. To be fair, mate, just like you say, Hamish. If you're gonna have a bet, I'd say, I'd get Hamish in your doubles and your trebles as a booster. I do like City of Troy as well. I think if the money comes, that one will be interesting. And keep an eye out for the Via Sistina race. See if Via Sistina does run, because I think you could maybe get a sneaky little bet on Nashua or horse at each way prices before the markets do collapse.
Yeah, very good. I would just say, again, it's a small sort of weekend in terms of, I think, group sort of races that are substantial. I'd maybe just have a couple of small plays, maybe ones you fancy at a good each way sort of price, and maybe just enjoy the big races with like your City of Troy, your Hamishes, and your Via Sistinas.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
We'll roll on next week.
Yeah,
see what
definitely.
that brings.
100%.
Right, don't forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter. You can see the banner going at the bottom for all the links and the names. So there we go. Right, yeah, we'll see you next week for the next instalment of the Final Fight podcast.
Yeah,
good night.
Brilliant. Good night.